journey in the time stream, and
tiny heads.
All right. We're going back in, and also we all pray that Rick and Morty season 3 comes out soon.
Oh, I just rewatched the first 2 seasons. It holds up, man. It's so good.
It's incredibly good, and it's just torture that it hasn't come out yet. It's truly terrible. But take a look here at both teams as they ready up. We're going to be seeing the Team Liquid defense be coming out here first. Probably not going to be including Enigma on a Hanzo, despite the dream wanting to be real.
Well, yeah, not on the defense. Offensive Hanzo and King's Row is something we definitely see a lot of, though. But Enigma, I think, is, you know, he's a good diva. Always has been. So he's one of the old school divas. I lump him in there with Hyped, who would run the hero even before she was a monster. And now just kind of all those mechanics paying off that she did get those buffs. We'll see what they want to run out here on defense. It has not been unheard of to see a defensive Pharah, but I do think that they will want to run a support at some point in time, so Mineral will likely switch.
Let's shoot for a new high score.
All right, so defense of Liquid is out here. Meanwhile, take a look here at the offense of LG, seeing what they might be coming out with here. Don't think they've exactly committed to their true offense here yet. Yidan, of course, well known for his Ana play, the hero of Overwatch Open. What he did in a live studio environment down at E-League was incredible. Back before people really got used to big Ana darts, by the way. Yidan was basically the progenitor of incredibly clutch sleep darts, and of course, he will be on that Ana here once more. And other than that, pretty standard coming out here from the side of LG. Going to be a 3-tank composition with a Soldier 76 and a Zenyatta supporting, so see how it works out.
Yeah, a little bit interesting to see the offensive 76. I wonder if they're going to try to rotate him around to the high grounds, if they can get this corner, if he'll be running up the stairs, maybe send your Zenyatta with him to give him a little extra support. But looks like they're just going to keep it on the ground level. A big charge in from Mez right away.
Mezar doing his best super impression is bopped immediately for it. Does get Oob down as a result, but the problem is that offense comes back in much sooner than defense here, and this still forces Team Liquid back a bit. They absolutely cannot lose another person, but they have to find a way of charging back in. Now, Rafa at 90%, big source of damage here when they go in, but they keep waiting. The offense is going to be back at 6, and Team Liquid, I think, is actually giving up too much space here. We'll see if they get a pickoff, but Hex, I think they might have made a mistake.
Well, they gave 2 free ticks away, and ticks are not super important on King's Row. Either you're going to hold it or you're going to lose it for the most part. So, you know, very patient there, waiting for everyone to get back in here. Did not want to take a fight undermanned, and now they have been doing some decent work. They've got the ultimate advantage, and that is going to be Mez right away.
What an Earth Shatter by Mezar. Mezar, the Redemption Shatter, dives deep into the back of the LG squad, throws down the hammer, and it is a beauty. Liquid, their patience pays off, and what I was worried about there, too, is not only did they give up 2 ticks, but the worry was if they'd have a good engagement, but by comparison, LG didn't really seem too interested in bringing the fight to them either.
They did burn a couple ults there on their offensive defense, as it were, so they did end up boosting and using an Earth Shatter. So a little bit behind now, as the counter boost is probably going to come in, maybe even on clock here as they rotate around. Mez getting very aggressive again, forces the Transcend.
Mezar goes in, you're right, the Transcendence comes out, but he gives his life for this to start things out. 65 in favor of the offense. Offense, though, they are down on ultimates to some degree. They're not able to use it immediately take the point, and Team Liquid could fight this back, but it is very close between the two. Yidan King and Taction on the Rafa, and it's LG with dominant position right now. They've pushed Liquid fully out, and Liquid doesn't really have a whole lot of outs here for a miracle comeback. AZK still in it, but one soldier against the world is not going to work out, especially with the defensive matrix in his face.
Somehow still alive, but he and Dang will go down to the same hammer swing. Trades, of course, being just that much better for the offense, and with only 1 tick to go, that will be a first point capture for this LG squad as they continue to move forward here. Spree, Gravitons in the street phase always happen. Rafa should have his up here shortly as well, but you know, a mediocre defense there from Liquid. I think it was really nice, the patience they showed there to not give it up on that first push when they, by all rights, could have. So decent so far for them. We'll see what the street space brings. It's really going to be a tale of 2 graphs.
It absolutely is going to be the tale of 2 grabs here, and we'll see how it works out. Don't forget, though, that Enigma is on this Diva. Very well could run in and look for the eat. Does not get the eat, and says going to get hit by Spree on the Graviton. Takes down Mezar immediately, and it's a nice setup here for LG as they push right in. 2 down immediately. It's going to be hard for Liquid to actually pull this back, as everything going the way of LG. Now, the one upside here, if nothing else, Hex, Rafa was able to save his Grav.
Yeah, so at least they didn't have to burn anything though too. Spree getting in that house early on was really nice. Maybe Liquid could have sniffed it out by knowing that Spree wasn't up there spamming trying to get energy built up, which is essentially what you see every Zarya do on this phase of the map while waiting for the cart there. She's usually up front, but Spree was nowhere to be seen because he was hiding in the house. Really beautiful sneak attack, gets that grab from behind, and the cleanup is absolutely there. Liquid is going to have the ult advantage in a small one here. A zoning ult comes in.
It's not even just a zoning ult, ends up taking out the Hang, so even zoning ults can be deadly. Here comes Rafa, diving in, drops a grab, does not get eaten, pulls in two, and Liquid looking for the follow through here. Diva's self-destruct can go off, will get blocked out, and actually, this is still a fight that's very winnable for LG. Spree coming back in, very much in the fray of things. Not super charged up, but seemingly doesn't need to be for what he's doing. Rafa gonna fall in the cart, dies to his own secondary fire, and Liquid, after what was a good opening here, going to be pushed back once more.
Yeah, they just did not show up or do anything in that Streets phase, and not able to capitalize on the ultimate advantage that they did have momentarily. They will still have the ultimate advantage as we head into last year. Mezzer trying to get to an Earthshatter Super Clock, very close to that as well, but they gotta find a way to win one of these team fights. Oob switches onto Pharah for this last point push.
And Pharah for the last point push can be pretty effective here. There's a lot of areas to hide up in over the top. Lucky didn't get hit by Dahang there, but he's just going to be a pressuring. But Pharah can't necessarily go in deep on a Ana like that. It can be deadly. Meanwhile, Icefelt gets in, grabs ACK early on. 2 kills here for the offense, as they are still doing whatever they want here, the Liquid. Oob takes a little bit of pressure, but still getting kill after kill, aided by Super Pluke and Luminosity Gaming. Hex, one fight away, potentially, from getting a very good time here in King's Row.
Why I think Pharah is so underrated on specific maps in general is that you are able to pressure the back line completely safely. She was up there just throwing down rockets, essentially creating an explosive wall between the supports and the front line. That meant that the front line was exposed, they got earth-shattered and cleaned up, and then she's there on the cleanup spree again, trying to hide, gets in here for another grab.
Grab is in her. Mazar throws on the Earthshatter, gets absolutely nothing. Oob in over the top. No justice here just yet, but very close. Putting a lot of pressure here on the AZK. AZK, lucky to stay alive, gets bailed out by Minstrel, and Enigma taking Pharah out of the sky. This might still go the way of Team Liquid is. You look at Enigma, he's getting into the back line, applying pressure, doing enough to stall out and let the rest of Team Liquid come back in here. And wisely, the offensive LG knows they're not going to get a great fight. They're backing out.
The AZK kill on Oob absolutely swung that fight. Had it gone the other way, this I think Liquid would have been, or Luminosity would have been closing out this point. Barrage is at the ready. He's going to wait for a bubble, maybe an Earthshatter into Barrage. Could be the next recipe we see trying to close this out.
Oob's going down below. This is a classic Pharah trick from way back when. Moving into the back line. The sneakiness is out. Justice reigns from in your face. Finds AZK immediately. 3 kills coming out here from LG as Liquid now against the ropes. Rafa is nano boosted, but not much is going to do with that much damage being poured into him. LG, sneakiness pays off for Oob, and they are about to cap this out. AZK looking for the miracle. Swap now on the Tracer. Buying time for his Reinhardt. Minstrel in and on there too. Gives his life. Here comes Mezar. This is the staggering that you will always see towards the end of an Overwatch game. AZK after getting heat in, it's a good pickoff, but is it going to be enough? It's still very much going the way of LG. 4 extra kills, and that payload will be thrown right in there.
Ube putting on that Pharah. I think Pharah on last point here, as you mentioned, there's so much verticality in places you can hide and be safe, and really it's one of the better offensive heroes in my opinion if you're wanting to pressure the back line. Tracer doesn't have a ton of room there. Genji, it's a little bit kind of claustrophobic towards this last point, but a Pharah using the verticality, completely safe and just setting up so much frontline damage by separating the supports, because you can't walk into that, otherwise you're just going to get 2-shot by rockets.
Yeah, Pharah consistently been good on King's Row. I think that'll continue. First point and last point still. Maybe we'll see Liquid bring it out a little bit. I think that offense for Luminosity was very solid. I have more problems coming out from Liquid. I do like the Ana Zen combination that they've been running. That is something that they've been practicing on King's Row specifically instead of having Lucio to start out with. And Icefelt getting a lot of bombs that may have been zoning, but they always killed 1 or 2 supports on every single time he did it. So that one against a Hang in the middle of the Streets phase is a big reason they were able to get through to the last point so quickly.
It seemed like they allowed Mezzer to be more aggressive and kind of much more in the super style, because early on their defense especially, he was getting bubbled and charging pretty much every time he saw anyone from LG peek around the corner. Is exactly what he was trying to do, was bubble and charge them, but that pulled him out of position a lot of times, and LG played right into that, capitalizing by just diving back lines when he would get out of position up front.
All right, well, take a look at the defense as it sets up again. Nothing too crazy coming out here from the side of LG. It is going to be a classic 4-tank composition, aided by Ana and Lucio. About as bread and butter as you get in this patch. Meanwhile, look at the offense. We'll see if there's any wrinkles here. I don't think Enigma will be going this Widow. No, he's going to be going on the D.Va instead. And this is 4-tank v 4-tank mirror matchup here underway. We'll see which team can reign supreme in the shield and hook battle for first fight here on King's Row.
Pretty standard compositions, mirror matches coming through here. A very aggressive charge by Mezzer. Mezzer has been unleashed to wreak havoc. AZK takes off Spree there first, 6v5 for Liquid.
And the nice thing about that charge, it freed up AZK to get that hook. You're worried about the Reinhardt, you're not looking at the Roadhog. So Liquid, 2 kills to their name here. Respawns are going to be coming in soon, even though Mezar has just fallen. And this is not a very good situation here for the side of LG. They could pull it back, but they're going to need to get a pick off right now because Liquid, they're swarming on top of the point. AZK, another hook in, Hedan is down, and that should be all Team Liquid needs here to finish out this point.
Yeah, nice sleep there on Icefeld as they did not wake him, just takes him out of the fight as they put damage onto everyone else. Icefeld is desuited, doing his best on the point, but it is all for naught as Liquid will take this in their first push. A prolonged push, but off the back, AZK's hook, who Spree believes would not have hit that hook had the patch been in play. Calling it a 1.0.
Are either of these two teams going to blink, or are we just going to be seeing this comp versus this comp, effectively mirror matchup 4-tank the entire time?
I would imagine you're going to see 4-tanks at least until we get through all phases of the game. I think first to switch will very likely be Ube. Just he's been one to switch off a lot of different heroes, and as Slasher mentioned, Pharah always good on this map. It's been something that he has rotated to time and again. So I think right now they're both pretty comfortable. He didn't lose that fight just based off anything real bad. He just got hooked, so it's a little too early to switch things up in my opinion.
Well, speaking of hooks, Ube getting a revenge hook there. Rafa diving in deep, gets a grab, gonna grab about 2 people in it. In fact, more diving in towards the very end, but you have the counter death, or whole hog coming out there by Ube. Doesn't quite get as much as he's looking for, but the fight's still relatively even. The problem in the setup, though, is that, again, the offense is gonna reinforce a little bit quicker, and Ube, though, still could potentially put this in his favor, trying to be a hero here, but he is surrounded by enemies on all sides. He's just buying a little bit of extra stall before finally Enigma takes him out.
Yeah, it's been very scrappy. Enigma, though, has 5 kills during this fight, and he's just been a terror. Right now, he's desuited, so he's just going to run as far forward as possible, maybe try to get damage. It depends what his percentage ends up being at, if he feels he can get resuited or not, or if he finds a ledge to jump off of. I feel like he's going to get resuited here. That bunny blaster, actually, like at this angle, too, where they can only come across that angle, the bunny blaster is really effective.
The key here is for Team Liquid, though. They don't want this fight to be engaged until he gets back in the back. Right now, this is a big opportunity for LG, and they smell it. Super Fluke's going deep in right here, right now, holding on to Earthshatter. Does not want to ult some shields right now. Ends up ulting a bit of shields anyways, as Mezar is coming right back in. So a little bit overeager there for the defense. Still could work out with the Graviton by Spree, but they did have to invest a little bit more resources. But for now, the Pharah swap, Hex has worked out.
Well, it is Ube onto the Pharah, as we kind of predicted that would happen as well. I think it was just seconds too late for Enigma to get his suit. He got it called down. The call down takes a couple seconds. Was not able to get in that fight when he needed to be, when Ube was kind of running wild. Tried to join it a little bit late and get something done. Enigma goes down very late in this next push, but Liquid's got a long way to go to even get back to the card. It's one of the worst places to stall out on this map. It's just such a long walk from your spawn to where you actually need to be.
It's one of the more even points in the game in terms of runs between offense and defense. But Roth right now looking to get to the back line. Gonna drop the grab. Gets quite a few in that. Fall through is immediately there. Swing the hammer as Mezar directly inside. But what's going on? Oob comes in over the top. Gets 2 with the barrage. So not the cleanest fight for Liquid despite a great initiation from Rafa. And Ube still in. Gonna work his way back. And this is some nice fair movement to keep this a contest and at least buy time off the clock even if LG does lose this fight.
He's been having a really nice game on Pharah. There is no particularly good answer for him right now, though. They do switch. AZK does come over to the Soldier 76 just to put some pressure on him, because you can't leave a Pharah alone like that. And with the, I mean, Enigma maybe could do something about it, but he's been busy trying to get all these self-destructs and having good luck with it too. Here comes a giant Earthshatter.
That is great from Mezar. Knocks down 3, diving into the back line. Goodbye the mineral. 3 unanswered kills from Liquid from that quick strike from Liquid. And now Liquid, 3 minutes, 45 seconds left. They still very much have the possibility of setting a quicker time here. And for LG, they're gonna have to win quite a few fights in a row. Liquid will get maybe 7, 8 good attempts at this to at least finish out the map. So LG gonna have to dig a little bit deeper here to stop this Liquid push.
One of the big problems though right now is Liquid does not have anything nearing the ultimate economy that they need to close out this map. I think Earthshatter Earthshatter and Graviton are closeout ultimates. They're pretty far away from both of them. A big initiating self-destruct going to buy a lot of space up front, and they're just going to take that space back. Ube does go down, though, to an Enigma, maybe even a Bunny Blaster. I'm not entirely sure what happened. Fox going to come in with the charge, and here comes a grab.
LG going very deep in here, despite being down players, they still want to take this opportunity. AZK dies early. The grab, that's going to be its only casualty as the hammer gets dropped here once more. And Team Liquid getting a better turnabout on this. Rafa and Enigma going to town. Some very nice diva play coming out here from Enigma. Disciplined, still effectively at full HP, and now he might be able to chase down Ube. And Ube, he knew what was coming. He chose Sweet Death instead.
They won that fight despite getting ulted on and not using any ults of their own. So look at this. Now they do have the closeout capability. Rafa hiding in the corner, looking for this grab to seal out the map.
This is looking very good for Team Liquid. The grab is out. Enigma going to be dropping that self-destruct right in the middle of that grab. Doesn't get anything from it, but AZK is unleashed. While that's going on, no one is on him in the back. Ends up picking up 2. And for Liquid, if they can just get a few more unanswered kills, that's going to be all they need now for this payload. They are very close right now, surrounding on the payload, getting space, and the sound barrier's gonna come out, but I don't know if it's gonna be enough.
Oh, Super Blue almost goes off the edge. They're buying a lot of time despite not getting the kills that they need here. They have bought all the reinforcement time they could ask for. AZK does have this visor, trying to get some damage done. They do pick up a couple more, very scrappy. Enigma has been cleaning up on the cart, but they're losing players here and there. Still not a decisive fight yet.
No, not at all. And again, for last fights, you have to have the situation where you flawless victory the other team. Team Liquid is still applying a lot of pressure, but they've lost enough people that it's not enough to take the point yet. This is still looking very good for them. As the Hang getting in there at the Ana DPS, more Widowmaker than Ana at the moment, with some very nice snipes towards the back line. And Liquid now on the precipice of getting this payload in. Not there yet. Defensive Graviton is in, but the fall through is not. Only Ube is able to take down Minstrel, but still, Luminosity holding in there, and that Earthshatter might be opening things up.
Spree just clutched out that Graviton so hard right there, and now they're still getting people back on this card. They're getting kills as Liquid, but not enough and not fast enough. More to the point, there's going to be another self-destruct. The amount of ults that have gone on in this card is just astounding. They are getting the cleanup. Now is Luminosity. Not enough bodies left for Liquid to take this point back, and it's almost bad how long that fight went, because they used everything, unable to get it. Probably going to have one last push left. Maybe Mez can get his way to an Earthshatter. That is going to be the only ult on the field. You see everyone drained all their resources in that epic final battle.
Liquid was so close there, but they weren't able to finish off their plate when it mattered. Now they are down to their final push. They have very little in the tank here. It's probably going to come down to Mezar, looking for an Earthshatter. Doesn't have it yet. Gets caught in a corner. Low HP, ends up going down, and now here comes LG. They're out for blood. They sense victory in their grasp right here, right now, Hex, and Liquid doesn't have a whole lot of options.
Now, they've even brought in this Mei, too, just to make things that much worse. The retreat is going to happen, but this retreat has to be short-lived because they got to get back in here in short order. 13 seconds left. Got to get to the cart. Mez now back into it. Mez has the Earthshatter. It could win the game for him.
Last gas coming out here for Team Liquid. He's holding on to the Earthshatter. Will it be a big one, or will it hit nothing? Has to get through the shield of Super Fluke to make it work, as Icefeld deads Rafa. So now 5-6 for Team Liquid. Against the wall, quite literally, is Mezar taken out, and Luminosity Gaming on the verge of an epic hold here towards the end. It was looking bad. They gutted it out with a huge stall, and they will hold Team Liquid back and take King's Row.
Super Flock just took it to Mez, charged him into the wall. Mez tried to get the Earthshatter off, but took a hammer to the dome instead. A victory blizzard goes on the cart. Luminosity, and nothing, the best way to describe it is just a gutsy hold on the last. There's so many clutch plays here and there that they just kept it alive for so long. Luminosity defending King's Row.
I mean, Liquid set the pace, the same pace that Luminosity set on their offense. They had an opportunity to even get a better time at the very end, and in Liquid style, was not able to close it out at the very end. And that will push that cart to Luminosity with the better stall up to the team. That's why they're going up 1-0.
So let's just be clear here about Team Liquid and how they've done in recent times. Really a long-term trend here of at least 2 months, if not 3. Team Liquid has trouble finishing, period. This is not the first time, Hex, that we've seen Team Liquid go in there, set a really good time, and then fail to deliver the goods when it counts. It continually happens to them, and it's not really clear why. It looked like everything was going their way. They just weren't able to get the last little bit of DPS, and on it for one individual point, it's not a big deal, but it just feels like it's a bigger trend overall with Team Liquid.
It's a trend. I feel like they lack the killer instinct. For a while, we talked about this Liquid squad. Probably like 2 or 3 weeks ago, you and I had this conversation. I said the problem with Liquid right now is they got 3 players who are really solid and very good, but they don't have playmakers. None of their big players are making plays. Now, I saw glimpses of that in NGE, where I thought Rafa was playing the best he's played on this team. I thought AZK brought it to another level, and even ID towards the end was having better games than he had shown. They were finally showing that one of the problems with Liquid for a long time is that I felt they always played too tentatively, that if they lost one person in a fight, they just gave up. They're like, that's it. We can't win 5v6. They were taking those 3v5s and things like that and winning the fights. They were just playing with more confidence, and I think it is a confidence and like a killer instinct issue.
Slasher, anything extra throw on here? I know you've followed Liquid throughout time and also seen them have trouble finishing out maps. Anything that you think might specifically be causing that?
I mean, it might be killer instinct or it might be shot calling in these situations where, I mean, it is very tense and you have to make the right decision in terms of how you want to go about things. And a lot of it does come down to ult combinations and trying to win the fight. And if you have the ults, use them. Usually Liquid is actually pretty good with it, but it seems at the end of maps specifically in terms of putting home the payload or even putting the percentage away on King of the Hill, they start mismanaging their ults and their positioning.
All right, so we move on now to the one and only Nepal. Did get to see King's Row, which was nice. If Liquid is able to pull this back and even up the series, we will be heading to Dorado, which will also be awesome, as we have not seen much of that. So, take a look here at the different lineups that we're seeing here. Does anything stand out to you, Hex?
It's kind of interesting to me. This map, Nepal, and then this stage in particular, has been Liquid's just absolute ace map. They've been crushing people on it through NGE. This stage, I feel like they just have figured out. The one thing that is interesting, though, and perhaps because of the roster changes, Rafa was actually the one running D.Va on this map and playing a really good D.Va on this map. Enigma's going to be on it now. Rafa's going to have to take over the role of Zarya. We'll see if that changes anything for him.
All right, both teams fighting here on the low ground of Nepal. Neither team really hanging up on the high ground too much longer. As Spree right now just laying in the damage to Enigma. Gonna be pulling him back, but Super Fluke dives a little bit deep. Mezar gonna get that Reinhardt on Reinhardt kill. Setting up Liquid well. They still have their shield tank high behind, but Mezar getting swarmed on all sides. He's actually just getting meleeed in the corner. Cannot bring out his hammer because of how low he is. 5v5 between the two, but Rafa in a good position here on the flank. Good energy, picks up a double, and that should be all Team Liquid needs to get first control of this point. And man, was Mezar lucky to live there.
I feel like Rafa's just got this great sense of patience on this map. Whenever there's like a contestant on the point or something, he always just pops around the corner at the right time and picks up like a 2 or 3K. I saw him do it on D.Va consistently throughout previous tournaments. He just seems to understand how this point works and to use the geography to his advantage. He's had his best games on this stage, and so far looking to live up to that as well. AZK almost with a pulse bomb. Mez also the advantage of all that damage with an air shatter up.
Mezar, he does build a very quick Earth Shatter, looking for it, gets it, connects in the back line, 2 going to fall as he brings Zarya on a ride. Be really weird if Team Liquid didn't win this fight after that, but that's still a possibility. Icefeld gets in the back, gets on the Rafa, and oh no, Mezar just spinning for dear life, not gonna live, and Icefeld making the best of what was initially a bad situation. It was a good Earth Shatter, but Liquid doesn't connect as they'd like, gives the opening for Spree to land the Graviton, and LG might be pulling this right back.
LG had no business winning this fight, and they are absolutely going to win it. Icefeld coming up huge, gets a couple kills. There was a really nice bio grenade early on this whole LG team, but somehow they brought up the shield, kept everyone alive. They did end up sacrificing their Reinhardt for it, but him keeping that up made sure that no one else was taking damage while they couldn't be healed. And then Icefeld rewarded him for his faith in keeping him alive, took a nap, then came up, awoke, and murdered people.
So she was on the other foot now. It's LG in over the top with an advanced Super Fluke. Gonna dive in off the top rope, brings Enigma on a ride, looking for the angle of the Earth Shatter. Not finding it here just yet. Coming in, gonna get stuck in the grab, drops the hammer, doesn't really hit much, but will cause AZK to go down here as Ube now, whole hog on the way, causing all sorts of disruption here to Liquid. 3-1 here for LG, and they should be able to hold this point.
Give credit to the Lucios when they deserve it. Mineral absolutely won that fight for his team. That was a beautifully clutch sound barrier, saved everyone into the Graviton, even saved them alive through the Earth Shatter, allowed his Roadhog to stay alive and get everyone off the point with that whole hog. Of course, the only person who did die after that was Mineral, but it was a life well lived.
Absolutely. Well, Team Liquid right now coming back in here once more. Enigma opening things up here with the self-destruct into the air. The fireworks are successful. Ube falling early on. 65 for Team Liquid as they work to recap this point. But Mezar falling the spree. This still could go in favor of the side of LG, but with AZK darting around, picks up 2. This is where Tracer excels. Duel's position, uneven numbers. No one can really get on AZK here, but he can get on them, as Team Liquid should be able to flip this point.
It's a great first kill for AZK too, to take down Spree. That way you know that every target you focus down is not going to get shielded and totally ruin your day. So taking out Spree early in that fight with a pulse bomb, a really nice decision for him as they do take this back over. We're going to be about tied up here percentage-wise when the next fight goes down. Spree working his way towards that Graviton Icefeld. Of course, about to have his self-destruct. On the other side, though, Earthshatter will be just about up. We'll see where they want to go here. They're going to have to take the high ground. That's exactly the angle they take.
Mezar taking Spree on the ride. There will be no Graviton. Falls up with an Earthshatter. A gem of a play coming out by Mezar. Picture perfect, and he might have had a rough day earlier on versus Super, but he is looking great right now in this matchup on the Paul.
Another beautiful grenade from Dahang made the cleanup just that much easier when they can't get healed and they're lying on the ground. That is about as easy as kills come in Overwatch. Mez with a beautiful charge. Used a lot of ultimates there to get through. Enigma's going to only have his. AZK can maybe clutch out a pulse bomb too, but if they can dodge Spree, they should be okay.
Team Liquid now looking to solidify their hold. Thus far, 2 kills to their name right now. AZK darting in and about. Shouldn't have to worry about too much here. Just gonna fall up leisurely on that Earthshatter by Mezar. Easiest Tracer kill that you can expect. And Team Liquid looking strong. They polish off the rest of the LG team. And AZK just throws a pulse bomb out because that round is Team Liquid's.
I think their D.Va play has been different and probably a little bit better. I mean, Rafa was playing a much better D.Va in the last couple of weeks. I think he's still good on Zarya. He excels in that kind of tank dueling role. But I don't know how he does it, Enigma's magic, but every time he just launches one over the top, always gets a kill. Always gets a kill. It's not like they don't see it coming, but he got 3 kills that game. Just, you know, oh, I have ult, I'm just going to launch it, LOL, and then he kills someone. It's crazy.
Yeah. And, I mean, Enigma, of course, he does play a lot of D.Va. And don't forget, too, if you look at Enigma's team history, he played D.Va before it was cool. He's one of the, I wouldn't exactly call him a D.Va specialist, but certainly the old NRG squad liked running D.Va more often than other teams. And it was Enigma who really took that role. So it's definitely a good meta for him right now. Unfortunately, for Enigma, that D.Va probably not going to be used as much next patch.
He and Hyped are the hipster D.Vas for sure.
Enigma ran D.Va when it was dumb to run D.Va.
So I got the positive spin on things, and Slasher just comes in as like, no, he was wrong. Well, you know what also is rough? Mezar getting booped off right to the side. A little nudge from Icefeld knocks him away, but Icefeld gives his life for it in the end. 5v5 right now between both teams. Not a lot of pressure here on AZK, and this is where AZK can shine. So if he can really bring his hit scan prowess to bear. Unfortunately, with Enigma going down, this is going to give more of an opening here to the side of LG. They do get Rafa, and they will take control of this point. And though AZK, oh, he doesn't even live. Spree comes in and finds him at the very end. 100% Zara in your face. Never a fun time.
It's just a really nice play from the D.Va, from Icefeld here. He got in on those stairs, took a nice angle onto them, and was able to knock Mezar off. And losing your Reinhardt early, especially on this stage where the stair battle is everything to open up the map, that's just brutal. There was no way they were going to recover from that.
All right, next fight going to be underway here. Team Liquid looking to pierce back through. And again, it's Mezar taking Spree on a ride, but he gives his life for it. There's a ride that you want to take and ones you don't want to take, and unfortunately, it took him way too long to hit the wall. LG fighting it right back. There's no shield to protect Liquid here, so Mezar, when he does that, it's good if he gets a pick, Hex, but it's not very good if not only does his target live, but he dies in the process.
Well, whether you're a small arms enthusiast or an Overwatch player, the rule is the same. Know where your backstop is when you're doing things like that. He did not know where his backstop is, took himself completely out of the fight. It has been 2 very poor lives for Mezar, looking for his redemption tour, but he's going to have to deal with this whole hog in his grill.
Well, here we go. Super Pluka moving in. Earthshatter on the way. Probably won't need it with the nano-boosted Whole Hog right at his side. And Liquid now really struggling. They only have about 2 more attempts to bring this in, Hex.
Yeah, and so far they've shown almost nothing. They are going to have some ult. Can Mez get anything going here? He goes for a huge charge, but he gets fire-grenaded and focused yet again. He's going to have to use his Earthshatter on 2 people. Can he get anything going? But
we'll have to see. Rafa is still in this fight right now for Team Liquid, despite how ugly that opening was with the Graviton Earthshatter. Liquid able to hold in. Oh no, goodbye Rafa. He tried to bring Roadhog in with him. Does not work out. That would have been a very epic hook, though not fight changing in the least.
Well, Mezzer gets hooked onto the ledge. He is going to be taken down. It is all desperation time for Liquid, and they don't even want a desperate jump, but this Minstrel is going to do his best to just skate around the point, buy as much time as possible. Desperation in full effect as D.Va is going to come in here too, but looking bad for Liquid.
Liquid just not able to pierce through. This is definitely one of the harder stages to actually get through on a control map. At Sanctum, you have to go through a tiny choke point, and LG has done a masterclass job at holding back Liquid. They haven't been able to get the initiations they're looking for, and now they're in desperation mode, looking for anything to get them back here and on the point, but that's not going to happen as Mineral sends AZK on that long ride. Oh, Minstrel! Get a wall ride! And he probably would survive there because it's Minstrel, but doesn't matter.
He does survive.
He was doing that on principle just to prove a point, saying, look, I actually wasn't going to die from that.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't like to single out players, especially, you know, everyone's talking about Mezzer, one of the best tanks in North America. He might be one of the best Reinhardts in the world. That is the acclaim that he has, but that was a rough stage for him. Nothing really went well. I don't know if that's the team not playing around him correctly or some of those charges just not hitting perfectly, but he had some pretty rough lives, that one.
I think for Mezar, it's just been a rough day in general. He did have a few bright spots to look at, but I don't think it's really been his overall best Reinhardt day. Of course, going against Super with the crazy level support he was getting earlier in the day versus Hammer, maybe not as much of his fault, but still, we do expect a little bit more coming out of it. But honestly, for Mezar, his great performances definitely outweigh his lesser performances, so I'm willing to give him a pass. But
you expect a little more consistency. He was like just the most consistent, which is why it's so surprising to see him play this way.
All right, next fight here underway. Spree leading the way, but it's going to be rough on the Super Fluke, and Reinhardt's very often first time to die in this map here thus far. With Super Fluke down, it's going to let Team Liquid go in a little bit more aggressively. They're not going too crazy ham into this, though. They know how it could end badly, but with AZK getting the cleanup, that's going to be all they need. And speaking of Mezar doing good things here, Hex, he already has an Earth Shatter.
Yeah, it's kind of a signal to how much damage he has done, and look at how much healing Dahang has done as he's also got his ultimate. That is a super well-won fight for Liquid, as they're going to have a giant ultimate advantage now going through here. So Mez in the Redemption Tour right now, and Enigma is, you know, I think he plays much better D.Va when they have control of the point. His defensive D.Va, I feel, just finds interesting openings. We'll see where he wants to post up now.
I do not disagree. Next fight underway, Mezar sneaking, holding behind here, winding, pierce that Reinhardt shield, and drop the hammer, looking for it. Doesn't drop it yet, does not want to ult some shield, so to speak, and is just waiting for the opportunity. Now we have another nano boost out, this on the opposing Reinhardt. Hammer is dropped here by Mezar, doesn't quite get as much as he wants, but is enough to find Super Fluke in the corner, puts him against the side. Very close between both teams at Liquid, should be able to clutch us out as Enigma is going to town.
It's going to be very close. Ube is the last one on the point, but he gets slept as Dahang has absolutely turned it on this game, too. I think it's actually one of Dahang's better stages as a healer. I've watched him play a lot of this map as Zenyatta, too. He seems to really understand the architecture and the angles that you can take as a healer, too, to not only get your heals on and know where your tanks are, but to get that critical points of damage in, too, and he's done a lot of work.
No doubt about it. Liquid right now, 66%, 2 fights away from taking this round and being that much closer to winning. Icefeld in over the top, gonna use this high ceiling to his advantage, drops a self-destruct, gets absolutely nothing for it. Still even between the two teams, Ube darting in and about, looking for an extra kill, might get on the hog, does get the hog with the aid of his teammates, looking in and around, putting pressure on the Dahang right now, and this is where a Tracer that doesn't have pressure, absolutely deadly. Ube will get the Ana kill, and that is going to be LG retaking control at this point.
Yeah, Tracer not only doesn't have pressure on her, but has the support of your team, too. It's always nice to know that you can retreat right into a defense matrix, and you're essentially immortal at that point, so a lot of the confidence to play Tracer comes from knowing that your tanks are alive. It's been a nice switch up from Ube here, actually getting some decent work done on the Tracer. I think he understands, too, that the supports of Liquid have been alive far too long, and he's looking to remedy that.
Super Fluke going deep in. Reinhardt's no fear today. Drops the hammer, knocks down at least 2, and that will be a gem of a team fight here from LG. They catch Liquid off guard before they can get out of the building. And even though AZK is doing a little bit of carnage towards the end, not gonna be, look at this, Enigma doesn't want to get stomped. He ends it all, throws himself off the cliff. And, you know, I think that's just sort of a D.Va thing right now, because teams have gotten a lot better at staggering. You just make your own way to the edge.
It is as good as Dahang has played this game. He just used his nano onto a non-whole hog, Roadhog down there, too, and they got nothing going from it.
Well, Grauton comes in from Spree, threads and Nito, pulls in 3, setting up the rest of his team, and this would be absolutely awful for Liquid if they did end up losing this round to LG after their start, but LG is making their case. Only 2 more team fights required here, Hex, and they're still in a great position.
They've just gotten 0 value out of their support ultimates to the last 2 pushes. It was a burn nano that they got crushed on in the corridor there. There's a sound barrier, got absolutely nothing from it. Luckily, they haven't burned any of their tank ultimates too, but you expect to get a little more out of your support ults than what they've gotten.
Let me take a look here at Ube right now, moving in and about. Pulse Bomb still at the ready. Gonna throw the Pulse Bomb, completely whiffs. That Pulse Bomb was nowhere close, but LG still trying to stay in there. But that's an Earth Shatter from Mezar, going to be knocking down 2, keeping Liquid in this fight, at least for now. Still very close between the 2 teams. Mezar actually has to back out for a moment. Here we go, hammer time between 2 Reinhardts, but that charge comes in. Farewell to Mezar, as LG not giving this point up without a fight.
I love what LG did there too. Superblock used his Earth Shatter earlier, knocked down 2, did not go for the kills, backed up with his team onto the point, made Liquid come to him, charged as soon as he saw one in sight, really evened up the match just based on huge patience. You see targets on the ground like that, you want to go after them. They were patient and played the point instead.
We are in overtime right now, LG. They just need to evict Liquid from the point, and they will take this round. They are so close to having the turnabout. Liquid.
Oh my god, it's okay. ZP is dying, and everyone on the point is dying to his AZK. It's a huge couple of kills for Liquid, trying to bring this back for him. It is just up to clean up now, as Ube and Mineral try to get back on the point, are going to try their darndest to stall out and buy some time for at least their Diva to get back in here. Mineral still messing around on the point. Ube is going to be able to stall this out too. They might not even let it flip back over. They do, but they should be able to at least force one last fight. It will be the fight for the stage.
They have one last fight remaining. Super Pluke coming back in. Earth Shatter at the ready. Gonna drop the hammer. Drops Mezar right down. Not gonna get a lot of value from that nano boost as he gets taken on the long ride. Does throw the hammer down. Had no other choice. Sound barrier. Barely saving his life. And Team Liquid might be pulling this right back. AZK going back in. Darting in and about. There's no one that can deal with him right now as he dives in on this Ana. Ana going to fall here, the AZK. Or will Ana? Ana giving him the juke maneuver and still alive. AZK finally getting onto him as Liquid is swarming the point. LG gonna make for a stall, but does not happen. And guys, I am dealing with some serious bronchitis right now. I don't even know how it does what they have, but sometimes those things are gonna happen.
Let me ask you this, Slasher, though, because I feel like it might be the case, but I feel like I could also be wrong. Do you think bringing in a Tracer really helps your Reinhardt in the Reinhardt v Reinhardts? Because I feel like if a Tracer can focus the backside of a Reinhardt and confuse him, be that kind of annoying Hornet, that it really opens up things for your own Reinhardt up front.
Yeah, I mean, especially when it comes to the shield versus shield battle. No, you don't have to break the shield, but you have to make him turn and not pay attention. That gives opportunity for charges and to get swings in to build ult and to get Earth Shatter before them. And yeah, the best Tracers will be able to divert Ryan's attention. I'm really, for Tracer, there is such a high skill ceiling where if you don't deal with a very good Tracer like AZK is, you're going to have problems.
All right, so we are back here on the Sanctum stage, and this is where last time around Team Liquid really had trouble bringing it back, so a good first team fight gonna be crucial here. Both teams fighting off on the high ground, both tanks in each other's faces, quite literally, and somehow no one dies immediately. And even forward, Enigma able to get out of that mess. I don't even know. Someone should have died. It's just Overwatch science, but we're still in this. And an early Earth Shot from Super Pluke, one of the earliest you could possibly get, and does not get much with it. AZK able to take him out. Trading Reinhardt for Roadhog right now, 5v5 between both teams. And this is a crazy close fight as Liquid now with the nano boost saying, oh, goodbye, good night.
Oh, goes for the giant plays when Mineral has other ideas. Now they hit Mezar with the bio grenade. That means he is not long for this world as Ice Spell cleans up. But Mineral, you monster.
Just when you think Rafa is about to go to town with energy, with a nano boost, suddenly it is Mineral just giving him that helpful hand right into the pit. Gotta love it.
Oh man, the power of music compels you right into the depths of despair. They're gonna try to come in around this corner here, but Graviton comes on, grabs almost everyone.
Is a nice Graviton set things off. Icefelt will throw down the self-destruct towards the very end. Might not have really needed to. Could have just gone Baby Diva for a while, but we'll get back into his mech after it gets knocked out. And still a nice hold for LG. And for Liquid, Hex, what do they do to break this? Because they couldn't break this the last time they were in this situation.
Well, I mean, you can try just a different angle. You can just wait for ults or something along those lines. I think they're best off just sticking with what they have. Bullying their tanks in has been their best tactic. But right there, Mez goes in kind of alone, gets bubbled, but then gets absolutely earth-shattered. I feel like they're still not going in full force. They're sending 1 or 2 people up there to kind of scout for it, but those scouts never come back. They die.
Well, it's also uncharacteristic because Liquid, if they're known for anything, they're known for good initiations, but they seemingly cannot crack this puzzle right now. They have 6 ultimates up, though, and unless they want to go full NRG at Vegas, this should be a fight they would win. Now, there are 3 ultimates up here on the LG side. It's not a guaranteed win, but 6v3, this is a must-win situation, and arguably their last crack here at the Apple is Rafa. Goes in, and it's Eden! Throws the Graviton into nothing! Team Liquid, please! Enigma, though, self-destruct into the backline, takes down 2, and the rest of Team Liquid able to make up the difference here. They will retake this point in a fight where they really should have won.
Rafa knows better than that. He knows better than just to launch it at a diva and hope. There's a mighty hope there. Maybe a little on tilt from his ride to the pit earlier, but luckily that mistake is not going to cost them too badly. They have to burn pretty much everything, though. The saving grace is though Mezar did hold on to his Earth Shatter for the next fight, but it is going to be Luminosity with a strong ultimate advantage coming in on this next one. And just like this stage just looks like it is not Liquid's forte.
AZK able to get on the Super Luke immediately, and there's an Earth Shatter from Mezar. Gonna knock down 3. Fall through isn't necessarily there, though, because of the Graviton coming in from the offense, and the Graviton holds stronger. Icefeld getting in deep. Spree with the Nano Boost, melting this Roadhog right down. It's Bacon tonight as he moves to the backline, trying to stop Enigma from getting back into his mech. Won't stop him, but will find Minstrel, and Luminosity Gaming on the verge of retaking this point and winning this round.
Yeah, this should be Luminosity's here. AZK will switch over to the Tracer, try to get back on the point. Mezar does get near the point, almost gets knocked off. He will eventually fly off of this planet. Rafa is now on the 76, but it is all over but the crying unless we see enormous heroics out of AZK.
And for LG right now, they are just on cleanup duty. AZK gonna get punched right in the face. That's one way they take out Tracer's Diva, falling into that pit at the end.
Yeah,
and then coming back up, apparently. So, 2-2. Either team could take it, but Liquid fighting for their lives right now. If they lose here, they will be starting from the lower bracket tomorrow.
Right. Well, the good thing for Liquid is that there's no way we can go back to Sanctum, and that's the map that they've struggled on against LG here. That is that they've lost 2 stages in Nepal so far. It has been Sanctum both times. This one was much closer. I do feel that perhaps Village is their best stage on Nepal, but you know we'll get this one going here. And I think we're probably going to see, yeah, this Tracer v Tracer battle should be interesting to watch. And as Slasher and I were talking about earlier, it really does help out your Reinhardt if you can just have the mosquito-ness of Tracer behind you, just putting him in all sorts of different directions.
The other thing it helps out too is that we're not seeing it here, but when teams run Roadhog, I feel like it helps your Roadhog as well, because if you have one Roadhog that's trying to hit a Tracer, which isn't the easiest to hit, and the other Roadhog can just look for easier hooks, I feel like the Tracer gives you an advantage. Tracer's ability to just draw attention is big, but the fight here underway, both teams getting into it. Super Pluke first to fall, but now Ube, with 2 kills on his team, can roll around. No one's on him. He's going right in on the Lucio in the backline, and not getting as much done as you might think. Ends up with Mezar, even between the 2 teams, but for now, this is working out okay for LG.
Yeah, it really, the fight, the trades were back and forth, the kills were back and forth, but it's who died early on. Getting, getting the Ana down early on was absolutely huge. To hang, got picked out by that charge, just unlucky there. So losing your Ana, your general source of healing, your AoE healing, everything like that, really brutal to start off and take a fight after that. So Liquid will give up the point first. LG in firm control right now. Ube is getting close to his pulse bomb, and so is AZK. That's just how Tracer works.
Tracer, one of the fastest build ultimates of the game. Ube right now could wreak some havoc, looking for his opportunity. Mezar already falls here, so he can save it. Just gets on the Rafa normally. 3 kills here from LG, and Liquid gonna be thrown out once more. And Liquid right now, for the series Hex, really only has about 4 more pushes left, so time being an issue for them, and certainly series score not in their favor.
It might be less than that, actually, but we'll see. AZK is not getting the better side of this Tracer v Tracer. Now, it's not directly Tracer v Tracer right now, but Ube's been putting in work, and AZK has been relatively quiet so far. That's been the difference.
Tracer coming in here, and Enigma just gonna throw the Diva self-destruct in, but even if it gets 3 kills, which it does, it picks up 3. It just evens things out. This is still not a guaranteed one fight here for Liquid, because because of the havoc that was waged in that room. Most of Team Liquid died, and I mean, Enigma had a great party gift, but he just has to back out.
Yeah, I mean,
Feels bad,
Enigma's
man.
putting out some pretty good game tape. I mean, he's just somehow managing to get these self-destructs, but it came too late. They'd already lost 3 in that fight, so maybe not even using it there would have been the smarter choice.
Well, a lot of nerfing going on right now, but no deaths as a result. Ube into the back line, gets Minstrel immediately. 3 kills here for LG. And they're going to be pushing Liquid back, and Hex, Liquid down to their series life here. They're going to get one more attempt at this, and they're not even going to get good positioning. What do they need here? What's the scenario that they win this, especially with Spree with the Graviton?
I mean, you say switch things up, but it's way too late for that. They've had no answer for Ube. He has absolutely picked them apart here. Well, it's going to be the same old, same old. You boost in Mez, you hope he hits Nerf Shatter, and maybe clean up after that. Rafa should have Graviton somewhere in here. They get Graviton.
Flanking Graviton is in, grabs the support, grabs the Zarya. It's a beauty by Spree. Liquid getting split off to start this fight, and now they have to look for the miracle. Mezar in and about, swinging the hammer, has already used his Earth Shatter to very little effect. Spree coming back in, and look at LG, they're so low here. Everyone has effectively no HP. It was a great Ana grenade coming in from Dahang, but they do live. The sound barrier connects. AZK still trying his best to do garbage collection right now, hitting on all those people that were low, but it's very, very close, and even if LG loses Fight X, they can still come back.
Yeah, they should be in pretty decent position, but they might not even lose it. Mineral's still just dancing around the point, putting on a skate show, but it should be enough for Liquid to at least flip it. They do flip it over, but they cannot lose another fight or they will lose this stage, this map, and this set.
My ultimate is
All right, so LG coming back in. A lot of time on their side. They can play this in so many different ways. They can save ults. They can go for just a bunch of quality attempts and hope that the statistics go in their favor. But either way, they are moving in right here, right now. And this might be more of a junk rush as Rafa goes off to the side. The flanking Graviton is in, grabs the Ana inside of it. And AZK with the big bang, going to take down 2 and going to just mop up the remainder of this LG squad.
Well, the first half of this stage was definitely where Ube was getting the better part of it. AZK has turned it up here, but it is part of those things where it's a lot easier to clean up kills when the other team has to initiate into a wall of damage, but AZK is doing just that right now. Going to be about 50% by the time this next fight goes down. 2 more 1 fights for Liquid should extend this series.
And what's going well for Liquid here is that they do have the sound barrier. Minstrel, very good at timing this, usually should be able to land a good sound barrier to keep Liquid in this. Gonna wait for the initiation coming up for LG. LG is in, the beat is dropped, and this is gonna give them the extra health they need to live in this battle, or at least give them a good chance. Enigma, though, will be falling early on after Super Lucas goes down, as Rafa right now, low HP, getting well supported into the backline, but still X closer than it should be, given that we start with that sound barrier.
AZK gets nail a pulse bomb there. I was worried about him early because he did not get the benefit of that sound barrier early on. Had to play much more passively than he would have liked to, but that passive play did lead him to getting that pulse bomb, able to finish out that fight. Last fight of the stage, very likely incoming here. The problem is that the war chest is absolutely overflowing for Luminosity Gaming as they have everything and more, and again, it's going to be on Mezrar to see if he can hit a game-winning Earth Shatter.
Well, hard mode has been activated here for Team Liquid because here comes LG Spree looking to throw this Graviton in the best spot that is not a Diva mod. Graviton does come out, gonna pull in 3. Enigma is caught in. Ube with the big bang picks up 2, and LG on the way to winning this game, cashing in on their ultimates. Team Liquid not able to withstand. It was a near impossible fight to win, and LG executes. They're gonna take control of this point. They're gonna take control of the series as they send Liquid to the lower bracket for tomorrow. So, quite a series between both teams. Anything, Slasher, that you saw that stood out to you as we were watching?
I mean, more tough games. Liquid, they put themselves in a position to have a better time in King's Row, and then they don't end up finishing the map. They put themselves up 2-1 here on King of the Hill, and then LG comes back, wins 2 in a row to take the series. So, you know, Liquid really doing things right in the middle of these games and to begin these games, but not able to close it out. I mean, some of it is just not putting themselves in the best position to win, especially on King of the Hill right now, with the recent alt charge rate change, which came up a few months ago. Now, if you lose the first fight and then you lose the second fight, you're definitely losing fight 3 and 4. And then it's really up to the team that lost to conserve ults. And then what you end up seeing is one team will get up to about 80 to maybe even 90 to 99%, and then the other team will come back and bring it all the way to 99. But if the first team is smart enough, they'll just do what LG did there at the end and have 5 ults, and that even though Mezzo did hit a good Earth Shatter and gave Liquid a good opportunity to win, it's really just not possible in that situation. So LG just playing better series, better ult usage.
It's
All
why
right,
Liquid's such a hard team to be a fan of, is because there's so much to like. There's so much good gameplay in there somewhere, and then just at some point they just break your heart time and time again, where it's all going for them, and then something goes wrong here. Early on, I thought like they wasted some support ults when they just could not afford to do so. Enigma did get some nice ultimates, but you know, was the timing there? Was it even a correct time to do it? But I thought Enigma played well enough for them. But it's the same old Liquid story. On the other note, the other side of things, Hammers did 3-0 this group today.
Hammers is what I'm looking forward to most going into tomorrow, because it's such a great story to begin with. We weren't expecting them to come in and take out both Team Liquid and Luminosity, but they did just that. And watching them go against another newcomer like Spicy Boys, which very well could happen tomorrow, I definitely want to see that. Really curious to see how that unveils, and I'm sure everyone in chat is as well, because chat, they had 2 favorites today. They really love the Spicy Boys, and they really love the Hammers. So seeing even chat thrown against itself, that's going to be great.
Yeah, the emote battle it's going to be Peppers versus Hammers in chat. It's going to be fun.
All right, guys, so that is going to wrap it up for us here today. Please join us again tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern. We're going to see which of these teams will rise to the top and claim first place in the Underworld Monthly Melee, and what teams will fall to the wayside. A lot of good competition hanging your way, but for now, we are signing off. Have a good one, guys.